Good morning and welcome to the Help Biz show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. And today I'm joined by James Willson from Sunex UK, and we are talking about keeping your cool at work, and all of that will be revealed soon. So welcome, James. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Karen.
So just a bit about James. He's the CEO of Sunex, and they've been treating windows to combat the effects of sun since the 1960s. So they also offer solutions now to dramatically reduce your energy in commercial business. But I'm sure you can give us a few tips as well of what we can do working from home too. So we'll launch straight into the questions. I noticed you said, you started off as a data entry clerk, you did a sort of internship or apprenticeship, and then you've rose up the ranks to CEO via many other roles. So I just wanted to ask you, how important do you think as CEO is it to know and have experienced all of those areas in the business?
Yeah, I think it is really important. I think one of the problems of certainly sort of small, medium-sized businesses is the ownership or the leadership of the company is often quite detracted and distanced from the staff. And I think it's much easier to create a team atmosphere if you're all in the same sort of boat, really, and the person at the top of this organisation has grown through the company, so they know the ins and outs and how difficult and challenges of each person's position is to been there before. It's a lot easier to bring people together if you've been involved in the company for so long and seen all the different sides of it, rather than just being a management type that's been brought in, or there's certain management styles that are quite difficult for people to get on with. So I try to keep it quite sort of fairly relaxed, and everyone can speak freely. If there's anyone has any ideas, they can pass this around and they'll be listened to. So it's quite a unique position I'm in, really, but this has been my one and only job before, during and after going to university, and coming back and not following my legal career, which my degree should have led me down, but ended up back at Sunex and never left. Now it's hopefully by the end of this month I'll be actually taking over the ownership of the company as well.
Fantastic. I mean, that's such a long time. I mean, sort of to run through, there's not many people I know actually who've been in the same job for such a long period, literally from start to finish. A lot of people generally hop from one to the next and I think that's really important, that you've been there sort of so long, and you've got experienced all that roles. I mean, what do you think has kept you there, and how do you think that now kind of fosters the company loyalty?
The main reason I've been here so long is that it's a very unique company and industry that we work in particular the sort of niche client base we have. We do a lot of work for the museum sector, so museums and art galleries, national trusts, the royal household. Since 2004, we've had the royal warrant from Her Majesty the Queen, which I'm very proud of. So you do get to see some of the finest buildings in across the whole of the UK, right up to Scotland, Wales, and Ireland as well. So it's you're helping to preserve. One of the sides of the business we do is we preserve artworks and furnitures from being damaged by the sun, which is where the company's roots were founded. So you're not just running a business; you're actually helping to preserve some of the priceless artifacts that we have in this country.
Wow, I didn't even think of that actually, but it's such an important part, sort of light and sun and things like that on, ancient artwork. I know when I've visited places and you've gone to old caves and things, and they've had paintings which are thousands of years old, and they don't take any photos of it. Flash photography can actually destroy it. So
exactly
that's amazing. And have you seen an I mean, obviously we've got climate change, you know, the weather is changing. I mean, we've had sunny days we had snow yesterday, and this morning there's balls of ice everywhere. It's like, this is crazy. So have you seen an increase in business with regard to kind of warmer UK summers and people wanting to reduce their carbon footprint?
Yes, certainly a lot more with the former. The heat waves we had over the last few years have kept us very, very busy. And it's also tends to be immediate need as well. People, and it's normally driven by complaints from either staff or the users of the building. So we do a lot of work in hotels where the rooms can get up to 40 degrees. So we can stop the heat at source. So you don't have to worry about air conditioning then cooling the hot air down. That's how we can save a lot of energy from that point of view, as well as making it more comfortable for the users to operate in that space. But it's not burning. Big air conditioning plants can save a lot of energy. But the green angle is a lot slower to pick up. It's something that will be a growth area for us over the next decade or so. I think we're still a little bit behind the times in sort of proactively looking to reduce our carbon footprint in some of our bigger office buildings or commercial premises. It's even things like there's a climate change levy which punishes companies that are using too much energy, but that just gets added onto the bill and someone pays it and we don't even notice it's on there really.
So I guess if you're going in there, I mean, you can sort of say to them, well, actually, by doing this, you are being more eco-friendly, but you're actually reducing your costs at the same time. I think the bottom line is what drives them, isn't it?
Yeah, in the right circumstances, it can pay for itself within 3-4 years. It can be that effective. You've got a high glass to brick or concrete ratio. It's particularly inefficient sort of 60s, 70s building that might be concrete, single glazed even. It's a very, very effective way of reducing your energy costs. And from PR point of view as well, you need to stand out from their competitors. They can say that we've done this to improve our carbon footprint, then it's another feather in the cap as well.
Exactly, and I think it is becoming, it's becoming more, prevalent now, and people are kind of starting to question things as well. So yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. And I know you've got various different ways, obviously, that you work with business, like coating windows and things like that to reduce the sun. Many of us are obviously working from home, and quite a lot of our audience are sort of small business owners. Have you got any kind of little tips or something that people could do working from home to kind of reduce that?
Yeah, I touched on it earlier. If people, if they get too hot working at home, they automatically think, oh, I need an air conditioning unit, which it can work, but it's very expensive to run. It's not very carbon friendly, obviously. So you need to stop the heat from getting in the building in the first place, which is where our solar film will make a massive difference. But even without that, if you close off your windows or glazed doors with blinds or curtains when you're not using the rooms, so you're keeping as much of the heat out at source. So it doesn't matter if the rooms are blacked out when you're not there. If you're working in it, it's a bit different, obviously. But so yeah, as a rule of thumb, it's good practice to keep the rooms closed off and keep them as cool as possible. Once the heat's in, it's a problem to get it back out again. You can open the door, but you get problems of wind coming in. So
yeah. So as soon as you open the door, isn't it, all the heat escapes out. Yeah, and no, I think there's a lot of people. For one, I know sort of even going into hotels and things like that, I hate air conditioning. I would rather have a fan than air conditioning, or some other way of doing it. So I think that's
the plug-in fans are the worst. They just blow hot air around.
Yeah, I don't really do very much at all. No. Oh, well, that's some good tips there. And what would you say is your kind of top eco business tip for people, or maybe a lifestyle tip? What would you say?
Lifestyle tip. I I'm quite a big believer in buying local produce. We're in a relatively rural area down the south coast, so we do have a lot of local farm produce and farm shops that we can go and get our produce from. It might cost a little more than supermarkets, but you're getting it fresh straight from the farmer. So there's no carbon costs in transporting food everywhere, and grow your own as well. We've got an allotment just around the corner from my house.
Okay.
Just broken my back digging the ground up this weekend.
Okay, yeah,
and that's the perfect way of keeping your footprint down. It's by growing your own, and it tastes that much better as well. It's even if you've got a tiny little patch in your garden.
Yeah, and it's organic as well. Yeah, I've been saying that to people, even though even if you haven't got that much space, you can do it in pots and all sorts of things.
And it's good for your mental health as well. It's just switch off from work and go and sow some seeds. It's a great time out. It helped me a lot in the first lockdown. We just shut the business for a couple of weeks. I just spent those 2 weeks on the allotment just to clear the head and just to have some downtime, really.
Yeah, good for the wellness as well. Okay, brilliant. Just quickly to end off now, I know you can find James at sun-x.co.uk, but you have got an offer. So if you could just let us know a little bit about that, and then we can let people know how to get in touch with you for that.
Yes, as I touched on earlier, we save a lot of energy in commercial buildings, and if the building's of a sufficient size, we can conduct an energy saving survey, basically, to input a load of data on the size and shape of the building and everything. We can produce these reports that will show you how much carbon you'll save by having the film installed, and at what points you'll get your money back, and then what you actually earn from the products by having lower bills over the course of the lifetime of the film. So we can conduct that for free for commercial buildings.
Excellent, that's a brilliant offer. So definitely, well, we'll share that out. If you've got a link, I'll grab that from you after the show. Just the best way of getting in touch with you, maybe on LinkedIn or something like that.
Yep.
And then if you want to get in touch, if anyone who's watching now, if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask James, please do pop them in the comments, and we'll get to those after the show. So thank you so much for joining us, James.
Really, it's a pleasure.
Show. Brilliant. And everyone else for watching, thanks for watching. And if you're watching the replay, thank you too. And we'll see you same time next week.